Hello, my name is Andrea, and I will be speaking about ethos, pathos, and logos in women's unrealistic beauty standards and body image. Looking back in our society about 50 years, we have seen a lot of growths. For example, people of color and handicapped people were discriminated against and were treated like second class citizens. But let's keep in mind that this was acceptable back then, but that is totally not okay today. Recently, society has been more accepting of the LGBT community. This has been met with endless support and acceptance, as well as less homophobia, and only recently we witnessed the ruling for same-sex marriage. Although we have overcome a lot of difficulties, today's issue is women's unrealistic beauty standards and body image. Today's perfect woman is tall, thin, blonde, with a tiny waist, perfect hair, and makeup. So just basically think of a Victoria's Secret catalog that is full of women that meet that criteria. Due to the unrealistic nature of the beauty standards and body image, a lot of girls and young women are being mentally and physically affected. Mentally, a lot of these girls and young women are developing anxiety, which is self consciousness, insecurity, and nervousness, along with depression from not being able to reach that body standard, and of course, eating disorders like anorexia and bulimia, where they don't eat or purge themselves. Along with that, physically, they are being affected um, with purging, meaning mostly vomiting. And sadly, a lot of these girls are cutting from the stress and anxiety from not reaching that ideal body or that perfect image. Fat shaming is exactly what it sounds like, being shamed for being fat. It often involves comments and remarks that are not welcome, like, ew, go running, or lose weight, or calling someone fatty, which is really not acceptable. Men face less discrimination, more acceptance, and they are not nearly as criticized as women. With that being said, I want to try a challenge. Try to picture a bigger guy. Do you picture him as lazy and dirty or as successful? Now, think of a bigger woman. Do you see her as lazy and dirty or as if she's living the American dream? Tyra Banks is famed for being an accomplished Victoria's Secret model, the first African American woman to appear in the cover of Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition. She is also the creator for America's Next Top Model to introduce new faces and bodies to the fashion industry, and she holds a certificate from Harvard Business that proves that she knows what she's doing. Ethos or authority. With Banks having a Harvard business education, she must consider her projects, like America's Next Top Model, to be a worthwhile investment if she's putting her time and effort in introducing new looks to the industry. She also has experience. She has been in the industry longer than I've been alive. In the next slide are some examples of different bodies that were introduced to the fashion industry through America's Next Top Model. The first model has a condition called vitiligo, where she doesn't have color um, pigments on her skin. A model with burn marks, plus size model, and a transgender model. Pathos or emotion. The famous Kiss My Fat Ass speech was inspirational because someone so influential took a stand for something controversial, and that was very brave of Banks for her to do that. Logos or logic. Unrealistic beauty standards are indeed unrealistic. In the picture, we can see a very thin girl, but when she looks in the mirror, she sees herself as fat, and that is obviously not logical. But we have seen this with their friends, family, or even coworkers where they don't think they're good enough or pretty enough because they're not a tall, young blonde that's a size zero. We are starting to focus on health and happiness where size doesn't matter. As long as someone is happy and healthy, that's all that truly matters. And in turn, that translates into beauty.